Let's review. We should be using cubes every time we solve a word problem. If you look at cubes, it helps you to dissect or pull apart your math word problem. C stands for circle the important key numbers. U stands for underline the question. B is to box any math action words. Remember, those are the ones that are going to tell you which operation you're going to be using or which operations you'll be using to solve the problem. E is to evaluate. What steps should I take? How am I going to find the answer? And S is to solve and check. Does my answer make sense? Is it reasonable? And how can I double check my math? The second strategy I want you to focus on is read, draw, write, write. Read, draw, write, write stands for reading the question, draw and label a picture or diagram to help you solve the problem. W, which is to write a number sentence or an equation, and W, to write a word statement or a word sentence. That's a statement that answers the question that is part of your word problem. Are you ready? Let's do some word problem surgery. Picture this. You're sitting at your desk, getting ready to do your work. You start to read your first question, and then bam, confusion sets in. I've read the problem, I've used my math strategies, and I still don't know which operation to use. What shall I do? Don't worry, the doctor is here. Today, we will spend some time dissecting similar word problems with different operations. This will help you get ready to do the surgery on your own. Before you begin surgery, you'll need to choose a job. Each of you will have a chance to be each one of the different jobs because you'll be answering 4 different word problems today. There's the director, the lead surgeon, the surgeon, and the recording technician. The director is going to be the one who manipulates the computer in the Nearpod, getting the other team members set up in order to answer the problem. It is every team member's responsibility to be a part of the discussion and the figuring out how to solve the problem. The lead surgeon will be the one who has to read the problem to the teammates. They need to make sure that they speak clearly and that they speak at a low voice and not super loud to distract other students or surgeons. The surgeon will be the one who will be dissecting or pulling apart the word problem using cubes, strategy, and will be manipulating the word problem in order to figure out how to answer the problem with the help of their teammates. The recording technician has an important job. The recording technician will be the student who has the surgical board. On the surgical board, you will be putting the read, draw, write, write strategy and taking the information from your director, your lead surgeon, and the surgeon in order to correctly solve the word problem on the chart paper or your surgical board. Let's go ahead and practice with problem number 1. Listen and watch as I use our math strategies to solve the problem. In this example, I'm going to play all 4 parts. I'll be the director, the lead surgeon, the surgeon, and the recording technician. I'm going to use the area here on my screen to show you what the recording technician should be doing. So let's go ahead and begin. As the director, I would make sure that the question is visible and able for my lead surgeon to be able to read. As the lead surgeon, I'm going to go ahead and begin reading. I'm going to use a voice level 2, maybe a 2.5. I'm going to make sure that all of my teammates can hear and that they're paying attention as I read. On Thursday, the Meat King Market sold 210 pounds of ground beef. On Friday, they sold twice that amount. On Saturday, they sold 130 pounds. How much more meat did they sell on Friday than Saturday? Now that I've read the question once, I'm going to go back and use my math strategy cubes to help pull out that important information for my recording technician. So now I'm going to go back through and I'm going to read it a second time. On Thursday, the Meat King Market sold 210 pounds. On Thursday, the Meat King Market sold 210 pounds of ground beef. On Friday, they sold twice that amount. On Saturday, they sold 130 pounds. How much more meat did they sell on Friday than Sunday? As you can see, I've eliminated some information. I've circled some important math numbers. I've underlined my question, and I've boxed my math action word. So I have completed the first 3 steps of cubes. Now let's go back and think about why I did those things. It says here on Thursday, the Meat King Market sold. I don't really need to know that it was the Meat King Market, so I crossed it off. It's just extra information that I don't need. 210 pounds of beef, that I do need to know. It says on Friday, they sold twice that amount. So that twice the amount signified to me that in order to figure out Fridays, I'm going to have to do some sort of math to Thursday in order to figure out Friday's total. And I kept reading. It says on Saturday, which isn't as important to me. I just need to know the number. They sold 130 pounds. How much more meat did they sell on Friday than Saturday? So I know the 2 days that I need to focus on are Friday and Saturday. And the word than represents subtraction. So now I can tell my recording technician to set up the paper for read, draw, write, write. Now what I need to do is I need to go back and double check to make sure that I've got all of the information that's available. So I have Thursdays, I have Friday, and I have Saturday. I've drawn my tape diagrams. I have them labeled with numbers and what they are. And then it says here, my question is how much more meat did they sell on Friday than Saturday? So this section here is what I'm trying to find out. That's my question mark. Now, because I have all of that information, I'm able to go in and complete my equation in order to figure out the answer. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to change to a different color just so that you can see the difference. So here I'm going to go back and it says that Thursday is listed here as 210. My first equation that I need to do is to find out Friday, which is 210 times 2. And I'm going to write this vertically with my 2 underneath the 0 so that I can do my multiplication using standard algorithm. So 0 times 2 is 0, because anything times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. So Friday is 420 pounds of ground beef. Now I need to figure out how much more meat they sold on Friday than Saturday. In order to do that, I'm going to take the total that I have for Friday and I'm going to subtract it, because the word than represents subtraction, from Saturday, and Saturday is 130. So I'm going to take 420 and I'm going to subtract 130. Make sure that you line up your place values correctly. And if there's more on the floor, you've got to go next door and get some more. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 3, we can't do it. So we cross off the 4, we make it a 3. We bring that 10 over here and we regroup it. The 2 then becomes a 12. minus 3. If you can't do it on your own, use a strategy. You can do count on, you can use your fingers to help you subtract, but just think of it as 12, 11, 10, 9. I subtracted 3, so 12 minus 3 is 9. 3 minus 1 is 2. So your answer should be 290 pounds. But am I done yet? You're right. I'm not done because I didn't finish my strategy. I still have a W here, right? So now that I've evaluated all of my information, I can cross it off my cubes. As the lead surgeon, I would make sure that that was completed. Then I can look back at my information. It says solve. So the last thing I need to do in order to solve this problem is I have to write my statement. I would write the statement that they sold 290 more pounds of beef. Period. Once I've solved my problem and the recording technician has it all done, the lead surgeon and the surgeon can go ahead and cross the S off of your sheet, your cubes. Once your problem has been completed, you need to make sure that you check it with the exemplar. The teacher will have a list of exemplars that you can check. Let's try this one together. Listen carefully to the directions. Complete each step on your sheet of paper and check it with mine. Here we go. Let's go ahead and write cubes at the top of our paper. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start by reading the problem first. I would like you to read the question to yourself in your head as I read to myself. Great. Did you finish? If not, take a couple more seconds. Let's go ahead and reread and apply this cube's strategy. Brayden and Gavin were playing touch football against Cole and Freddie. That's extra information that I don't necessarily need. Touchdowns were worth 7 points. That I need to know. Brayden and Gavin scored 7 touchdowns. That I'll need to know. Cole and Freddie's team scored 9 touchdowns. I should definitely know that. How many more points did Cole and Freddie have than Brayden and Gavin? Well, I know that than represents subtraction. So I'm going to box that and put a subtraction symbol next to it so that I remember. It says here that touchdowns were worth 7 points. And Brayden and Gavin scored 7 touchdowns. I'm not sure which operation I should do for that. Let's go ahead and start pulling out the important information so that I can get some help from my other teammates and the recording technician. Set up your paper for read, draw, write. Your first step is to pull out your important information. Touchdowns, or TDs, as we like to call them, equals 7 points. Gavin and Brayden's team scored 7. So we'll do Brayden and Gavin, which is BG, equals 7. And then we have Cole and Freddie, which equals 9. Now we need to draw a picture that helps us to understand it. I can draw a picture, and I'm going to use green to represent Gavin and Braden. And I'm going to show 7 circles or touchdowns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know that they had 7 touchdowns. I also know, and I'm going to represent this with red, that Cole and Freddie had 9. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. But here I have one thing left over. It says that touchdowns were worth 7 points. So each one of these circles represents 7 points. So I'm going to put a 7 on the inside of each touchdown. Perfect. Does this look familiar to you? I think it might. What can I do to find out what the total for Braden and Gavin is and what the total for Cole and Freddie are? What do you think? Try it on your paper now. Did you give it a try? Fantastic. Let's see if you had it right. So if I'm looking at my picture, I know that Braden and Gavin have 7 touchdowns. Each are worth 7 points. There's 2 ways I can solve this. The first is I can do repeated addition, and I can add 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Or I can do it the 4th grade way, and I can multiply. I have 7 groups of 7, which means I'm going to multiply 7 times 7, and there's my first equation. So 7 times 7, I know, is 49. Then I can figure out how much Cole and Freddie have. Cole and Freddie have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they have 9 touchdowns at 7 each. And now, oh no, I forgot my 9 specs. I'm not sure what to do. You can ask one of your teammates. You can look around or use one of our 9 strategies. My favorite 9 strategy is your hand strategy. Put your hands out in front of you. From your pinky on your left hand, count over 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put that 7th finger down. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 1, 2, 3. 9 times 7 is 63. Now I know the totals for Braden and Gavin and Cole and Freddie's. But did I answer my question? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and see what our question's asking us. The question says, how many more points did Cole and Freddie have than Braden and Gavin? The then means I need to subtract. But I don't have any subtraction sentences over here, so I can't be done yet. Let's go ahead and take our totals and subtract. Make sure that you write your larger number on top and the smaller number on bottom. Line up your place values. Go ahead and subtract. Did you get a chance to get your answer down? Let's go ahead and check it. Well, the first thing I see is 3 take away 9. Well, I can't take 9 from 3, so I know I'm going to go over to the 6. I'm going to borrow 10. So if 6 becomes a 5, the 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 9. I don't remember that one off the top of my head, so I'm going to use one of my strategies. Start at 9 and count up. Great. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So I get the answer of 14. Perfect. So now I know that Gavin and Braden scored 14 points less than Cole and Freddie's team. So Cole and Freddie scored 14 more points than Braden and Gavin. Now I need to write a sentence. Go ahead and do it now. Did you get a chance to write your sentence down? Great. Remember that you can use the question to help you make that statement. So here I'm going to look at my question. It says, how many more points did Cole and Freddie have than Braden? So I'm going to say Cole and Freddie had 14 more points. Period. And now I've completed my word problem. You've had a chance to use cubes, read, draw, write, to pull apart a word problem, dissect it like a surgeon, and answer the problem. Check your work with mine to make sure that it matches up. If it doesn't, don't erase. Just cross it off and do it underneath. That way you can see where you made your mistakes. Do you think you're ready to try some on your own? I sure do. Now let's go and try. It's your turn to practice word problem surgery with your team. Have fun.